and welcome back to the Irish Mag Show. I am Alan, and unfortunately for our wonderful listeners, I'm your host today, as our usual wonderful host, Paul, is otherwise engaged. So joining me today, it's the Johan to the Kabay, it's the Hatem to the Ben Arfa, it's our Commander-in-Chief, Kevin Keegan, and also joining him after his long-awaited stint in St. Dubrovnik, it's the wonderful Mr. Chris O'Martin. Say hello, lads.
Hello, Alan. Hello, Tiff.
Sorry, lads.
How you doing?
Too bad. How are we? So obviously Paul's not here, so it's the lunatics are running the asylum, as they say, as Krisha would know, as we've let him out on day release. Yeah. So it's going to be a relatively quick show today, lads, as we're going to try rattle through as much as we can, as quick as we can. We didn't have a show last week because of the international break, where amazingly Ireland actually won a game, and even weirder, we were away from home when we won a game, but then we played Greece 3 days later and normal service was resumed, and we're absolutely stinking. But come here, signs of improvement. I mean, like,
why do we keep giving the ball away? Why do we keep giving the ball away to set up easy chances for the opposition?
Because we're terrible. Because we're terrible. Yes. Sorry. I forgot that, didn't you? Yes. Don't worry about it. The less said about the FAI and Irish football, the better. So we'll move quickly on.
3 points. We'll move.
3 points.
So, that's it. We're going to start off tonight with the review of the Everton game. As we all know, it was a couple of weeks ago now. So unfortunately, we didn't get the win. Didn't lose. Got a result out of it. So I'll start it off. I'll open the floor. I'll come to Krisha. What did you think about the Everton game?
Yeah, Christ Almighty. I mean, it could have been a banana peel. Really, we could have slipped badly there. You know the way it is at Goodison Park. You know, and it's the last time they've been playing us at Goodison Park. I think they're moving to their new stadium. I was hoping Dinosaur Hands wouldn't have a man of the match game, but of course he did. Look, we all know, and I'm sure Tev's going to mention it, same as you, Al, it all rested on the penalty. When Gordon put the ball down, I was watching thinking, no, please, not him. Why didn't they let Shar take it? But, I mean, if he would have scored it, we would have went on, I think, probably and won the game quite comfortably. But the fact that Dinosaur Hands got a little pinky to it, I mean, and saved it, and then, you know, you'd swear he won the World Cup by saving it, but that kind of, I did, even though Gordon did try his best to try to get back into it and ask for the ball and keep running and keep doing stuff, I think that we kind of just fell apart a little bit there. So look, we had the better of the game. Look, I'm just glad we got out with a point, because again, last season, like I keep saying on this podcast, we probably would have lost that. So we were the better side.
Yeah, great points. It did feel like a moment where if Gordon had slotted that pen away, it would have massively changed the game. Hindsight's 2020, can't do much about it. Tev, any thoughts yourself on the game?
Yeah, I actually thought we dominated the game, but it's a problem we've been having a lot of kind of away games. We actually have been playing well in terms of starter games against Bournemouth, against Wolves, Fulham, etc. But the problem is, it's just putting it in the back of the net, as Big Ando says. So I know we played okay, but we played okay and dominated the game, you know, without a striker. And we're playing Gordon up top, you know. Again, this famous Everton kind of atmosphere, like, there was nothing. You know, you didn't hear a peep. It's louder in the bleakers than louder in the TV, you know. So, again, we need to take our chances. But performance-wise, like, we played well. But, again, possession doesn't get you 3 points. Goals gets you 3 points. So, again, some big moments there. But again, it's positive signs, but it just screams out that we need Isak probably Isak and Wilson back. We need strikers. And again, because obviously Asul is young, he's getting into it, but you can see Eddie still probably wants to kind of mold him a bit in terms of before getting him regularly playing.
Yeah, I'll just slightly move on from that. The Gordon performance, he missed a penalty, and I was a striker back in my day, and I've missed plenty of penalties in my day. The one thing I absolutely loved about his performance, he didn't go hiding after he missed a penalty. He still showed for the ball. He still ran around like a lunatic. He was still one of our better players on the pitch. We still haven't gotten the announcement that he signed that contract yet, but it's all but done according to every single Twitter account in the world. But come here, it is what it is. One of them games.
What's wrong with Asula? Why isn't he even just giving him 10 minutes?
No,
like he What I've read, what I've heard, what I've listened to is essentially that he is so raw, it's unbelievable. He is very, very young, very, very good potentially, but just needs time. He needs to find his footing in the Eddie system. It took Bruno 9 games to get a start, and he is world class. So how long does it take a young 21-year-old who's only learning the ropes, who wasn't getting much game time at Sheffield United? You have to remember that. He was only getting 10 minutes a game at Sheffield United. He's coming into a side that's potentially battling for Champions League football, and you're kind of wanting to be thrown into the deep end. We don't need that. We don't need someone being written off so quickly, because a player that springs to mind is Emmanuel Riviere. Came in and was meant to be tipped to be the biggest of the best. And I just don't think he was ready for English football yet. And I think it actually derailed his career to the point that he ended up playing in like France's 2nd or 3rd division after he left us, because his confidence was just on the floor. And that's what we do not want. Spent a good bit of money on this kid. Hopefully, potentially, he will be what we want and what we have in the future. And from what I've seen, he's scored a good few goals for the Danes under 21s.
Yeah, I mean, if we were training up on Saturday against Brighton, the last 10 minutes, would you bring him on?
Yeah,
just throw him on, give him a bit of experience. Yeah. Of course,
I tell you why I wouldn't. I want Wilson to get 10 minutes under his belt so that we can put him in the shop window to sell in January. That's my 2 cents on that.
Right, okay.
He probably break his funny bone if he was on 10 minutes.
More than likely. Just a couple of other quick points on it. I thought Barnes was uncharacteristically quiet. Now, we all know what Barnes does. He's not that he saunters around the pitch. He's kind of anonymous until he's putting the ball in the back of the net, or he's putting the ball onto someone for an assist. But I thought the Everton game was not one of his worst games. I just thought he was marked out of the game. In a game where he was being marked by Ashley Young, who's 116 years old. Like, come on. Just put your head down and go by your man, and you could do a job. But come here, it is what it is. I'm glad we're giving out that we only took a point. Yeah, that's a positive in my eyes. We're not happy that we only got a point away from home. So that's a good way to be in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Any other thoughts on the Everton game, or are we good to move across now, boys?
The penalty, just the penalty.
Penalty,
no, not the penalty. The one that they tried to get off us, where Calvert-Lewin kicked the back. But I think that was one of the most professional tackles I've ever seen by Dan Burn. He knew exactly what he was doing. He stuck his big 7-foot leg in the way and allowed himself to be kicked as he fell over. I thought it was absolutely exceptional defending. And any other day, and a much more inexperienced referee, that was a penalty. But
I do agree with you.
They swore that that's a penalty. I've talked to Everton fans. They swore it was a penalty. And when they watched it back slowly, they all texted and said, oh, yeah, right, okay. That's just a penalty.
It was one of them that if it had been given by the ref on the pitch, that's not being overturned. Because it wasn't given by the ref on the pitch, it clearly wasn't an obvious error. Now, I have seen stuff like that given before, and I'm kind of like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It was more of a tangle of legs than a tackle. But I'm delighted it wasn't given, because if we had lost that match, I would have been devastated, because we were a much better side. And as Chriso said, Pickford being man of the match is kind of the evidence behind that. So you're going, if their keeper's the best player on the pitch, we're doing something right.
I'll just sneak this in really quickly as well. Right, just, and I know you're all going to agree with me. Everton are dreadful.
They're shy.
Straight up, terrible football team.
But the 3 sides that came up this year are worse than them, so they'll stay up again, which is painful again. Like, they're circling that drain for so long that you think eventually they'll have to go down. But unfortunately, I think the new owners that come in could save them slightly, and they could be back to where they want to believe they should be. But come here.
Right.
We had to go through it ourselves. 12th.
14th.
Just before we kind of head off, just want to give a shout out to the Brazilian boys. I thought Joelinton and Bruno played really well. Again, Joelinton's been getting a lot of slack, and obviously, again, performance-wise, he needs to kind of improve. But you could see in terms of Everton, him and Bruno were working really well. Joelinton was covering every blade of grass. It was really good to see, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's great to see them back to their best. That's exactly what we want. We want lads back to their best. Although on Bruno, I don't know what you've seen last night. He actually got taken off injured for Brazil, so that's that's not good. Yeah, he was taken off injured. I don't know how serious. I didn't see it. It was at 3:00 in the morning or something like that. So I woke up this morning. The first thing I did, other than email my boss, of course, was to go, "Is Bruno okay?" And he wasn't, and I was very worried.
Oh no. That's not good.
It is what it is. We'll move on to Brighton, who we have this weekend. Who come here? They're not exactly in flying form, but they're not playing bad either. So, any ideas on what we'll have as a lineup going into this game, lads? I'll come to Tev first this time.
I think, hopefully with Eddie was saying, we have a few players back. I don't know if you've seen Miley in training. The size of him, he's bulked up the kid, he's not kidding.
That man hit the gym hard.
He looks like, he looks like when you're playing DDSL or Leinster Senior League, like one of the lads you see before, it's like, oh, Jesus, he's bulked up. But look, it's looking good. I think if we have kind of Isaac back, so again, in terms of the back, obviously Pope, toss a coin in terms of Tino, and then also Trippier. But I think Trippier is injured. Am I right in saying?
Yeah, indeed. Well, according to Mr. Hope of the Daily Mail, Trips has a bit of a calf injury and will be out for a couple of weeks, is what I've read. So that's not good.
It's not good. So I think it's going to be considered. So obviously Tino will be starting. It'll be a flip of a coin in terms of Hall, and then Kelly. But
I don't think so. I think Hall nailed down that position against Man City, and he didn't do anything wrong against Everton.
Yeah,
so that's his now. Yeah. His to lose. His to lose in my eyes.
His to lose. Problem with Brighton, though, and I don't know if you've watched them the past few games, they don't play a formation. They play a very, very weird tactic where they just bypass the midfield. So, again, Minta versus Hall, I mean, I'm there for that,
They're a bit like a 7-a-side team when you were growing up and everyone is just chasing the ball at all times. It's just madness.
Running around after.
Come here, it works for them, so you can't really disagree too much, unfortunately.
I mean, they're sixth in the league. I mean, 3 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss. And the last 4 games, 3-2 against Wolves, 2-2 against Forest, lost 4-2 to Chelsea, and bet Tottenham. Everyone beats Tottenham, though.
Everyone beats Tottenham, though.
3-2. So, I mean, they're kind of like playing like a bit of a Kevin Keegan style. Like, if you score 2, we'll score 3. But the one thing I think that we could take advantage of, just really quickly, because we know it's going to be Tonali, Bruno, and Joelinton in midfield, we can take advantage of, is if they do go for that kind of schoolboy chasing after everything, we can catch them on the hop at St. James' Park.
With a bit of luck.
I mean, honestly, and smash them in the first half alone, just 2-0, 3-0 up. But look, we need.
They do give you chances. They do give you chances. I remember their goalkeeper loves to play out the back, and when I say he loves to just drop the ball straight away, and Verbruggen. So if we can catch them on the press, it'll be good. But if we get caught on the hop, that's the problem, So
Like who's going to play up front? I know we went through the back line there. We all know it's going to be Tonali, Bruno, and Joelinton, right? Well, we think it will be. It probably will be unless he brings in Longstaff. But who's going to play up front as the striker? Like, is Isaac and Wilson ready to be put in, or are they not? Are they going to be on the bench?
Is it a case where we can get them both 45 minutes? That would be my weird chat where I go, look, if they're both not fit enough to play a full game, give them a half each. Now, that leads me into Wilson breaking down after 15 minutes and Gordon goes back up top. But come here, there's no time like the present to try stuff like this. We are in desperate need of goals. Harvey Barnes is our top scorer this season, and he's only started 3 games. So, something needs to give. So I don't really know. Just on that, I'll get score predictions off both these lads.
Crikey. Okay.
Putting on the spot.
I say 3-1 Newcastle. And I say this because of this. Obviously, we've been kind of doing well, and then obviously with the results, but we haven't been playing well. Everton, again, we're playing a bit better. I think we're due to give a team a walloping. I think we're due a good performance. And I think with kind of the international break and kind of coming back and players back, the stadium will be full. I think we're due to give a team a walloping, and probably might be Brighton. Hopefully it's Chelsea next week, but might be 3-1. I'm saying for Newcastle versus Brighton.
Well, good. 3-0 out.
3-0.
3-0. It'll be a bit of a lull in the second half, but 2-0, 3-0 up by half time. We'll have smashed them in the first half. Out of sight.
Well, I was originally going to go 3-1 with Tev, but I'll go a little bit different, and I'll say we're going to win 2-0. We're going to keep a clean sheet, and I'll go even further. Tonali's going to get his first goal of the season. Yeah, go with it.
To the bookies, everybody. To the bookies. I wonder what you get to Tonali, because he scored goals in his career, hasn't he?
He did, yeah. So, he takes free kicks as well, and if Trippier's not playing, he's beyond them. So
I wonder what you get for Tonali.
That wouldn't be great. It wouldn't be great. Always bet responsibly, lads. Always bet
responsibly. Yeah, I'm not saying you should bet.
Just on that, of course, as usual, including someone on this podcast that's not me or Crisho, we will have a mass cohort of lads traveling across between Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. So no matter what part of the country of Ireland you are in, whether that be Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, or as we have Dara, who's actually in England somewhere where I don't really know where he is, who's traveling up for the game. If you see any Irish Mags gear, go over, say hello, get a photo with the flag, get a photo with Tev, because he likes to end up in very, very nice nightclubs at 4 o'clock.
He loves photos.
I'm well aware.
It's a day club, whoever.
Yeah, that's it. And always, as I always say, take as many photos as you possibly can, and we will get them onto our lovely website, which is theirishmags.com, and we'll have you all featured all over that.
So Tev's going again, is he?
Naturally. That man spends more time in Newcastle than he does in Dublin.
Tell me, Ma.
I tell you what, you get good odds on Tev not getting a ticket, but it's 22-1, everybody, for tonight to score. Just saying, again, bet responsibly. But you got, because I've tried. I don't know a better audience and about you guys, but I haven't got any ticket this season at all. None. I've gone to every ballot. None. Not a thing.
I got one. So, yeah, it was the Man City game. So it wasn't a bad one to get, to be fair. So I'm just happy with that.
Good one.
Yeah.
That's it.
What I was saying, just in terms of when we're traveling to Newcastle. So again, you're going to see all of us with the Irish Mags gear. So if anybody sees us, come up. So what story will be around kind of Rosie, Stack, Irish Centre, etc. And then for any of the Irish Mags there again, we'll have the discount cards as well in terms of their deals that we have with the hotels, and then for a restaurant as well and pubs. So let us know. We'll have them on deck.
That's
so
it.
if you ask a committee member, myself or Sean Bowes. And then
and just on that as well, of course, if anyone does see any of our gear and is a bit nervous about coming up to it, don't be, because we'll grab you and drag you into the group if we really have to. But we are always on the lookout for new lads, lasses, whatever you want to be.
We're very approachable. We're very approachable.
You will find it mainly at the pub nearest the gate in the airport of our respected airports. So that's where it all starts. So come and join the Magnus, as we like to say here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the Brighton game previewed. We'll move on to a little section that I have added into the script because I wrote the script because I'm a genius. And it's just a bit of a filler section. It's who do we want to sign? Now I've gone with a very easy sentence here. It's one sensible, one dream, and one that we think will happen. I'll go through my own first because I have them written down first, and it's the easiest one I can read. So I went with sensible was Magnez Akalucci. Now,
wow.
3 weeks ago, I didn't know who this guy was, but a rumor started doing the rounds, and I naturally went, I'm going to look at him on YouTube. So he's 22, but he plays for Monaco, where Mitchell has been. So Mitchell will know him. From what I have seen, He's a 10 that can play on the wing, that can play up. He's a very creative, attack-minded midfielder / attacker. Looks like he could be the real deal. Very, very, very good player. Gets around the pitch. Has a pass in him. And can definitely open up a defence. Kind of shades of a bit of a James Maddison to him. Can play on that right wing, can play in the 10. Very creative. Little bit slight, and I think he would need to bulk up a little bit if he was to come to the Premier League, but definitely a shout for him. My dream signing is gone purely based off not this international break, but the previous international break, and it's Victor Gyökeres, the former Coventry City striker. Purely for that partnership that he has with Isak at the minute in that Sweden team. It is telepathic. The two of them don't even look at each other. They just know where each other is going to be. And I would love to see something like that with Newcastle. But first of all, we don't play with two strikers. Second of all, we don't have £80 million to spend on a striker as well. So that's dream and all that jazz, but it's just not happening. My transfer that will happen, which I think is going to be a bit of a theme to the night, is going to be Mark Gahey. But it's not going to be for the 60-70 million that we were offering in last summer, because he ain't signing that new deal. I think if we are going to sign him, it'll be for in and around 40-50 million. And I can guarantee you that Parrish does not look a very happy man when this happens and he's holding the Newcastle United jersey come January.
Excellent. Love it.
Those are mine. Chris, I will come to you.
Okay. Sensible signing, Elanga. I think that Elanga was on the cards. He wasn't the second or third choice. I think that he was wanted. They just left it a bit too late because the whole window was a shambles, let's be honest. So I think sensibly that they would go back in for him and get him and maybe do something with this Greek goalkeeper that we've signed for literally no reason. Do something. I'm not sure exactly, but I don't think it's going to cost us as much as we think. In terms of dream signing, because I mean, let's be honest, Almiron's going to be sold in January. I personally believe he is. And then dream signing has always been. I've watched him for Benfica. He's having an okay time at PSG, but not really. And I think he just really needs to come to a club that loves him, just like when he played in Benfica. Is Ramos, who is very quick, very skillful. Striker. I think he'd fit in really well with us. I think he'd be an excellent option that we could move Isak out and in different games just have him say he's a real centre striker, centre forward. So he'd be a dream signing for me in terms of not a new number 9, but if we were replacing Wilson, that's who I'd go for. And then it will happen, and I'm going to stick with Al on this, is Gahey. And again, like Al said, for less money, so we make Parrish look like a fool. But also that it would happen in January. So when you say will happen, I'm going to put a caveat or brackets in January. I think Gahey's going to come to us in January, and I think it is going to be for £50 million. So that's where I'm at.
Not bad, not bad. Kev, we'll come to yourself. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, so just in terms of a sensible signing, I think Morgan Gibbs-White. I think we have a problem in two positions, well, a few positions, but I think we have a problem in terms of right wing, which we all know, and also an attacking midfielder as well, especially when you come into second half and we're doing substitutions, etc. Sometimes it's great to put Longstaff on. Obviously, Willock's my favourite player, but I think Morgan Gibbs-White is the step up that we need in terms of actually being able to have a versatile player that's quality in multiple positions. In terms of dream sign, it would be Rafael Leao. I think just in terms of Newcastle, we're just missing that kind of second striker. We're missing that winger that can finish. You know, I know Barnes has his great games, but sometimes he kind of goes up and down. But I just love a striker or a winger that can go in and you just know you can close your eyes and say goal.
Can I just say something on Rafael Leao?
Yeah.
He's in that category of player where everyone talks about him being absolutely savage. Anytime I've watched him, he has been nothing but bang average. I was in Milan when we played them that day, and he was dreadful. It weird. Like Trippier was marking him, obviously, so he was not getting marked out of the game. But there was one stage where he ran by 2-3 players. All he had to do was absolutely hammer this thing. He got back heel. And I was like, if I was his manager, he'd be hooked off. I'd be like, you're not playing for 6 months until you cut that shit out. He has that it's like Maxi with a bit more pace and a bit more about him. I've yet to see.
Is he a striker? He is a striker now, or he's a
winger slash striker.
Winger.
They call them nowadays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Eddie and JT will grab him and he'll sort him out. You know, you'll look at Maxi. You'll say, "Look what you did to Maxi. If you stop fucking around,
yeah, you shipped them off the Saudi."
You know,
that's fair.
But and then in terms of player that will happen, I think it's Mark Gahey. Not at the price that we offered, because God help us all. But I think we will get him for about 40 or 50. And remember as well, like Crystal Palace is doing shy, like as well, like they're doing really bad this season. Again, I know a lot of people are watching his performance, especially in the Irish market, saying, "Okay, he shite this game, he was like shite that game." But because we only see the highlights, we can't say that, every game he's been shy. But I do think there's a leader in him, and Eddie Howe loves a leader. He loves a previous captain. So I think he would slot in nicely, especially when Shar is getting older, Byrne is getting older. So definitely, but not at the price that we tried to buy him, probably 40 million, 40 or 50.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Gahey it is then.
Gahey it is. We're all in agreement that Gahey will be signing for us in January.
I was going to just throw in that it might have been Jocko Anderson, but I know you'd fall out with me out because he's already signed for Fulham. But I'm just saying, if we can't get Gahey...
It's just not happening. It's just not happening. So moving on, and this one is going to be a little bit different. It's the meetups that we have next week. Now, usually Paul will come to me, so I will come to me and Tev. But Tev's only going to get a little bit of an intro because he's going away to watch the match. So I'm just annoyed at him, as I always am. So Tev, where are the meetups going to be happening in Newcastle? In Newcastle.
If you're not on the 5:30 flight in the morning on Saturday, I don't know where you're at because it starts then. But when we arrive, so again, obviously with the discount place where you have discounts, we're going to be meeting around kind of Rosie's, the Stack, obviously, and then near kind of the Irish Centre as well. So again, a lot of us are going. So again, as Al says, if you see us, wave, come over, have a drink, etc. We're super friendly, especially when we have a few pints into us. And then a lot of us are doing the day trip. A lot of the lads are going back at I think the flight's at 6:15. God bless them. I think the other half of us, including me, we're back 8:30 in the morning the next day. So again, there'll be Irish mags throughout the night. There'll be Irish mags in the morning, etc. So if you see us, wave. We'll be wearing Irish mags gear and maybe a few beanies with Irish mags pressed on them. Yeah.
That's allowed. That's allowed. And just as a little bit of a difference today for this weekend, our wonderful Johnny is going on his holidays. Like, imagine needing a break. Disgraceful behaviour in my eyes, but I'm not going away in 2 weeks' time either, so we won't say anything about that. So we are not in the Bleaker this week. So if anyone is coming over to see us and say hello, we are not in our usual spot. No. We are in the Camden this week. So the Camden is located on 84 Camden Street Lower with an air code of D03 DH36. We will more than likely be upstairs. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't do the booking. This was the wonderful Tev. He did the booking. I think we've the table booked upstairs. I'm 99% sure. But as usual, everybody is welcome. Anyone that's in and around, anywhere, any shape, any place, come in, say hello, watch the match, give out that we're only winning 5-0 at half time, because that's what's going to be happening. And so fingers crossed it'll be another successful meetup this week in the Camden. So please remember that. Which,
Alan, as everybody knows, was where we originally started meeting up, and it was all different groups of fans, and then it was us little.
How you lost your gloves?
Gang. I lost your gloves. I can't believe you mentioned that. I just forgot about that. That's why I went away to forget about it. No, that was in Rosie's. Or somewhere before that. I don't know. But no one's found me yet. But that's where we started. So it's
that's where we did.
So hopefully there'll be other fans in there. Hopefully there'll be other fans in there and we can get a bit of a slag match going on. Be a good crack.
Happy days. It will be. I don't think we'll have too many Brighton fans in because I don't think I've ever seen a Brighton fan in the wild, to be honest with you now. Haven't come across many of them.
Do they?
They have a sports group. They do. They have the Seagulls.
Remember the Forza. Remember the Forza.
The Forza lads. Yeah, he is but the less said about that, the better. Let's just move on quickly from that one, unfortunately.
Just to move on, because we're Irish, right? I just want everyone and Al, you'll be on this, and so will you too. Just that the Irish Premier League, right? There's just 3 games left, and it's a 4-horse race. It's the most exciting Premier League, even though some of us think Irish football is terrible. Just want to give it a small bit of promotion. That this is one of the closest title races, and I'm only saying it because St. Pat's won 3 derbies in a row in the last 4 weeks, and there's only 2. There's 3 points between the 4 teams, so it's very exciting. Come on, ask Sean Bowles.
Oh no, I have been getting it in the ear about them. I just have a very little interest in the League of Ireland, unfortunately. But that's purely because anyone who's worth anything in that league goes to the Premier League. So it's not great in my eyes. But come here, I will never put it down. It's our league, and the lads that do go to it are mental. And I do have to say, the fans of the League of Ireland are class. I love every single set of fans. They're all deadly. Moving on, I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball at the lads here. I have a quiz question for both of you. Now, this one's a little bit... Yeah, this is a little bit different. We'd usually ask questions and we need answers. I'm robbing this from the wonderful lads at the NUFC blogcast. So, I am going to give you a list of teams that a player has played for. And I want one of you to try name said player.
Okay.
Yeah, so just as he started his career with Southampton, he then went to Coventry City. He then went to Newcastle United. And then he also had a season with Brighton and Hove Albion.
Mickey Quinn.
Me.
Wrong.
Balls.
I tell you, this player is now retired, and he retired in 2017-2018 at Charlton Athletic.
Lee Bowyer.
Jesus.
No.
Balls.
He retired to 2017 at Brighton.
No, at Charlton. He retired.
Charlton.
He was at Brighton in 2015 on loan.
Oh, okay. When did he win? Okay, just really quick. Come on, help us out here. When did he play for Newcastle?
Yeah, that's a big thing.
When did he play for Newcastle? He played 2 years at Newcastle between 2010 and 2012.
Is it Pertinian?
No.
It's not Perch, no. Why does Colback keep on coming in my mind? Gway.
Still not Colback.
It's not? No.
No.
Do, which is like a hint.
Yeah, can we get a nationality?
Yeah.
No, you can't have a nationality because that just gives it right away. It does.
Oh, okay.
So he's played 42 games for Newcastle and scored 10 goals. Right?
Leon Best.
That was the correct answer. My next clue was going to be, but he scored a hat-trick for us. Leon Best is the man. So, Tevin, you are the winner of this week's Irish Mags quiz. Congratulations.
That's 9 in a row. God damn it.
You wouldn't win a raffle.
I didn't win the raffle last season either.
No.
Right.
Okay. So, unfortunately, this brings us to the end of episode 46 and our poll-free evening. All future pods will be held at much higher levels of decorum and manners, so thank you so much for listening and watching. And of course, thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep an eye out on the website, which is www.theirishmags.com for all important updates in relation to travel, meetups, much more. We'll be back next week for more Irish Magnus. So until then, away the lads, slán go fáil, and we'll see you soon. Say goodbye, lads.
Slán.